I've been hearing a lot of speculation that this movie might be yet again another cheesy remake of a classic original. Understandable, because we're living in a time where most of the remakes that are being released are definitely cheesy remakes that we could have done without. However, that is not the case here. I can assure you of that. Talking about the film Twisters that just released worldwide today. And of course, it's a sequel to the 1996 film Twister. But before we get started, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I drop the next review. This film was written by Mark L. Smith and directed by Issac Chung, and it stars Daisy Edgar-Jones, Glen Powell, and Anthony Ramos. This movie follows a group of young storm chasers who are trying to use science to dissipate tornadoes. They're trying to figure out a way to make a tornado basically cease to exist. Of course, things happen and their lives go in different directions, and after a while, some of them end up coming back together to face new challenges while also trying to accomplish the same thing and save lives in the process. The best way for me to describe what this movie is and is not is to compare it to the original. The old movie starts with Bill Paxton meeting Helen Hunt in order to obtain something from her. Their whole mission was basically to learn more about tornadoes. Helen Hunt's dad was taken by an F5 tornado. And so everything that they did was in order to gather more information about tornadoes so that they could help to lead people to safety in the event that a large storm was coming. Of course, this is Tornado Alley. This is Oklahoma. I've never lived in Oklahoma. I don't have any friends or family who live in Oklahoma, but we always hear about how bad tornadoes are in that area. Of course, you have rival storm chaser groups. That same thing happens in the new one. Everyone has a different agenda. Everyone has a different reason for why they want to chase storms. I personally feel like Twisters immediately sets itself apart from Twister. Right away, it just feels different. One of the biggest things that Twister was lacking is that we didn't really have a reason at all to be emotionally connected to any of the characters. Helen Hunt's character, it took a long time actually, but we did end up getting a moment in Twister where we find out Helen Hunt's reason for I don't remember the character names. That's why I'm calling them by their real names for the original. But we do have a moment where we find out what her motivation is. And it's at that point that you kind of start to care a little bit. But other than that, the original Twister, it was just a thrill ride. It was a really good movie. It was an amazing movie, but it was just a good ride. This film, within the first 20 minutes, gives you a reason to care. It gives you a reason to want to learn more about the characters. It gives you a reason to want to follow them and be invested in their stories. All in all, I don't have any complaints. I take that back. There was one scene where, of course, it's not really a spoiler. It's just a thing that happened. Or I'll say it this way. This will be less spoiler like. There's a tornado in the area, and the people across the street from the tornado had power in their house. That kind of stuff irritates me because I live in Houston. If it rains hard in Houston, everybody's power's out. And I understand that Houston is not everywhere. However, there's a tornado across the street and your power's on. Anyway, beyond that, I have no other complaints. So definitely let me know in the comments what you thought about the movie. I definitely recommend you go and see it, even if you haven't seen the original. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you know when I drop the next one. See y'all next time.